Hey, it's Jeremy, and I'm at the Montgomery County Government Center today. Seems like the topic on everybody's lips has been the property reassessments, the 2011 property reassessments that were sent out, and everybody wants to know what's it mean. So we're going to sit down with Ruth Ritchie. She's the Public Information Director for Montgomery County, and talk about reassessments. Most of the people that I've spoken with seem to say that they've seen a net loss. Some people have seen a net increase, so either the land or the building values have gone up in such a way that they'll actually be paying more in taxes in 2011. But most of the people that I've talked to have seen either a break even or a net loss. So we're going to talk with Ruth about is there a correlation between market value and tax assessed value, and just see if she can clear some things up. And it seems like these guys have been waiting for quite a while, so hopefully we won't be waiting that long. All right, so we are here talking property reassessments with Ruth Ritchie, Public Information Director for Montgomery County, and we have our little two friends here. They've promised they'll be quiet though. All right, Ruth. Well, thanks for agreeing to kind of tell us a little bit about how Montgomery County does the reassessments. As I said in my phone call to you, property reassessments are something that everybody seems to want to talk about right now. Mm-hmm. And most of the homeowners that I've talked to have said that they've seen a net loss in their property value and their assessment value, since tax revenues are based partially on real estate assessments. How does the county adjust for the shortfall? Right.
Well, there are really two processes. The county reassesses property every 4 years based on fair market value.
Right.
And overall, for the county, residential properties have increased an average of about 3%. Now, the Board of Supervisors in the spring, as part of their budget process, will set the real estate tax rate for 2011 based on the revenue needs of the county.
Okay. And then so they know, based on the reassessment values, they know what their revenue is projected to be, and then they can look at expenses and then set the tax rate based on that.
Exactly.
Okay.
The board will set the tax rate based on the needs of the county.
Okay. Well, with market values dropping throughout Montgomery County, and it depends on who you talk to, it could be anywhere from 0% to 4%, based on whose report you read, and subsequently drops in the building values of many of the reassessments for 2011 for the upcoming assessment. Is there a correlation between market value and assessed value? It seems to be the question that everybody wants to know. My assessed value went down, does that mean my house is worth less? Is there a correlation?
Well, the assessed value is based on market value, and that's determined by recent sales in your neighborhood of comparable properties. Mm-hmm. So the county is required to assess properties at 100% of fair market value.
Okay, and as an aside, something we hadn't discussed, so if a house sells for $250,000, we should expect to see assessed values of $250,000 or no?
Well, the goal is to assess at 100% of fair market value.
Okay.
The county's in the upper 90% of assessed value of the sales ratio, with the goal of eventually getting to 100%.
Okay.
So we're not quite there yet.
So 90% is the goal, and 90 to 100% is the goal.
Well, 100% is what the state requires, and the county's sales ratio is basically in the upper 90s.
Okay. What about basements? It seems like easily half of the county has basements in their homes. Is there a difference between an assessed difference between whether it's a full basement, or whether it's a partial basement, whether it's an unfinished basement? Is there a difference there?
Right. The square footage of basements really comes into play when you're looking at the assessed value of a property, whether it's finished, unfinished, and also the quality of the finish is also determined by the assessment team. So if you look at your assessment on the properties, if you look at your assessment on the county's real estate information site, you'll be able to determine whether the county considers your basement finished, unfinished, and what the quality of the finish is. And obviously, the higher the quality of the finish, the more square footage of your finished basement, the higher the assessed value would be for the property.
Okay. And since the assessor doesn't go into each property, how do they determine quality? How is that determined?
It's basically based on the particular neighborhood that the house is in. If you're in a neighborhood of upper-end houses, then the finish would be expected to be comparable to the other finishes in the house.
Okay.
Now, if you see information on your reassessment that's incorrect, then certainly you need to contact the reassessment office and correct that so that your property can be valued fairly.
Okay, and I'll put a link to that site as well, because I know the county has a reassessment site, a whole page devoted to this topic, so I'll put that on the video.
That would be great.
And then finally, what about commercial development? And not necessarily how is commercial assessed, that's not the point of this, but if a home is sitting nearby, adjacent to a commercial development, how does that affect residential assessments?
Well, assessments are based on sales data, so really where the house is situated might affect the value of your property, certainly, but when the reassessors go in to determine your property's value, they'll look at sales data from your neighborhood and from comparable properties. And that's how the value is determined.
Okay, okay. So the county, obviously, reassessments are a big topic right now. There's the reassessment page that people can go to what can they do on that page?
We have a reassessment web page that you can access from montva.com. In addition, there's information that you can link to that shows all of the information about your property and your neighbor's properties on our real estate information site. And I would certainly encourage folks to go to that site, not only look at their property information, but they can look at surrounding values as well.
Okay.
So that they can see where they fit in.
Okay, good. Well, Ruth Ritchie, Public Information Director for the Montgomery County, we appreciate you kind of learning us a little bit.
Certainly. Thank you for coming by and talking to us today.
Sure thing. And thanks for being quiet, guys.